Welcome to Retro Wrestling Reviews, a new concept show. I've been thinking about doing this for a bit, but not as a retro review show. I was thinking of going back to Reality of Wrestling or Major League Wrestling. Now, let me flesh this out for you guys. I know I said that I was going to do a review of a show, but then in the last 2 days, particularly now, I'm kind of stuck because I was going to do Major League Wrestling. And I was considering going from the last episode. I think I went to episode 52. So I decided I was going to look at episode 53. And also Reality of Wrestling. I think I stopped around 160s. Around 164, 163. Now I was going to do maybe 165, 166. Then the same kind of problem I had with Major League Wrestling, which is the production value. Because I want to make this clear to anyone who has ever seen me do reviews of these shows. It was not the storytelling that was the major issue for me. It was not. It wasn't the wrestling itself that was a main issue. Yeah, I had some gripes about some of the character development of certain persons, like Gino from Reality of Wrestling. I didn't feel like he was a Spanish, well, not like a Spanish god, but a womanizer, a guy who really is an aristocrat, a guy who oozes machismo. He didn't feel like it. Gino didn't feel like it. He felt like a little kid. But the thing that got me was not the general character development. There were several people in Reality Wrestling I love. I love J.J. Blake. I love Davison. And at that time, Kylie Ray wasn't one of my most favorites, but she was there. I could say that she was a good wrestler, even though at the time I thought she was a Bailey Bite-Off. I now know she's not. She's a completely different person. I just didn't understand. But the thing is that the production value of not only Reality of Wrestling, Major League Wrestling is so bad. It infuriates me beyond no end that they can't understand how to even work a freaking camera. And I can understand their point of view, how they're working the camera. Less is more, they think. Zoom in on what's going on in the ring as much as you can. Make it as tight as possible so people can't really see the downsides of a small promotion, because in many cases, a small promotion is going to have a small amount of people there that's going to be watching. The small promotion is going to have a really crappy venue. The lighting should be dimmed to a certain extent so you don't see how bad the place is. The camera angles should be tightened as much as possible to get only what's necessary in the shot. But the way both promotions work, they narrow the camera so much that when there's action in the ring or that spills out of the ring, it is so bad you can't see what's going on. Then the lighting is way too dim. They try to accentuate what they got, but then they overdo it by making the light so dim it takes away from what's going on. And then the audio for the guys who are on commentary is just bad. Also, trying to announce who it is with the ring announcers is also a problem between both promotions. So these are the reasons why I just couldn't take it anymore and I just stopped watching the promotions. But then I have to think about this. We currently are still stuck in a pandemic. Major wrestling promotions right now like WWE, Impact Wrestling, AEW, National Wrestling Alliance, they can't produce anything with an audience. They only have wrestlers, or they're just replaying old videos of their shows, or like in National Wrestling Alliance, they have wrestlers reviewing some old stuff and giving their ideas, their thoughts, their feelings on it, which is a wise thing to do in a certain situation. But honestly, it's just not much to work with. So for me personally, the best option is to do retro wrestling reviews. And that's what I'm thinking. But now it's like, do I actually want to start reviewing crappy shows and not be able to give the content that I want to give you? Because the shows are bad. I think I've been thinking of doing Coast Championship Wrestling. I believe that's the name of it. I believe it's CCW, and I know Jerry Lawler had originally started it. And I'm considering checking that out. I haven't seen it. I only saw like a few snippets of it. And I'm actually considering doing retro reviews of that going back to at least a year. If they have any content doing that. because I think I checked it out maybe 3 or 4 months ago, and I remember that they don't really have a lot of content online. Most of it is very small snippets of interviews and maybe single matches, which I could do. Major League Wrestling, they got a whole bunch of content, but the production's so bad. It's very, very, very hard to get into the storytelling or the wrestling if I can't even see what's going on, if I can't hear what's being stated by the commentary team. It's very bad. And then Reality of Wrestling, which the one Booker T, the guy that I wanted him to get a network deal. I wanted Booker T to get a network deal. I was hoping he would. Maybe when him and his wife got a real network deal, they would step up their game. They would actually be able to give better content with the camera work, with the lighting, with the audio work. That is the major problem. They are Bush League because they are limited by their funds. And I did look at episode 165 a little bit, like a couple of minutes. And it pissed me off. It was no different than what I saw before when I stopped doing reviews. Then I thought maybe I should go to maybe another set of episodes, maybe a little further beyond. Maybe it'll be a little better for me. So I decided to go to episode 200. And I heard Wachowski, I believe I think it was Wachowski. He said they're not on Fightful. Now I know Major League Wrestling, it is on Fightful as well. They have transitioned to a certain extent to Fightful. And I'm going, both these shows are on Fightful now. And they do get a certain amount of money on Fightful. The network gives them some money. And I'm going, okay. I look at episode 200 and it looks like shit. I look at a little bit, and that's only about 5 minutes of episode 200. Just like what I gave for 5 minutes of episode 165. The camera work looks like shit. The audio work looks like shit. The lighting looks better. And that was for episode 200 of Reality of Wrestling. Major League Wrestling, I did look about 5 minutes of it. The camera work looks like shit. The lighting is much brighter and better. You can see everything in the ring. Well, they never were dim, but the lighting is much more brighter, much more better. The audio work seems better, and Jim Cornette on episode 53 is there, so that really helps commentary. But then the camera work is shit. So I'm like stuck. I'm not sure which show to review or both. Do I want to do reviews on both these shows and tear them both a new one because production is so bad? And then I'm going to be telling how bad the production is, and then I'm going to say what's in the ring. Now, I don't know if people want to hear rants about production and then what's in the ring, because honestly, that's what I want to do. I want to rip these two shows a fucking new one because they suck with their production value. The people who run it should get their asses smacked. They should. But then I look at how hard the people in the ring worked. Look, La Parka, before he passed away, he's on Major League Wrestling. I would like to see him. But if I can't see him in the ring because the camera is so fucking bad, it's going to be upsetting me. I want to see Davidson, the guy that was part of, I can't remember the team he was in, but I always thought he was a great wrestler, and want to understand he actually won his own title by himself. And I want to see him, but if I can't see him in the ring, it makes me, but I want to rant. So this is where I'm kind of stuck at. I'm still considering if I'm going to do a review of both shows or one of them. Or do Coast Championship Wrestling. I think that's the name of it. You guys tell me below what you think I should do here. I do want to make retro wrestling reviews a reality. I want to bring it out. But I want content I can work with. That's I'm going to start doing wrestling reviews of 1970s or 80s shows, which I don't know if anyone's going to be interested in that, because at that time, you need more content than just seeing these wrestlers wrestle. But this is just me. Have a good day. Have a good night. Peace.